All right, this morning it is my privilege to introduce our 8th grade chapel presenter, Avery Regner. Avery came to Montgomery in 6th grade. Her teachers describe her as polite, cheerful, and vibrant, all of which is very true. Avery always says hello to her teachers and greets them with a smile. And she always says them by name, "Hi, Mr. Rodeo, hi, Mr. Hutchison," and it's very consistent. She's a very expressive writer. I've had a chance to read a couple of her writings, and I've just been amazed at her ability to describe in detail and paint such a vivid picture of her ideas. She is full of grit. She is also an outstanding athlete. She was named MVP for cross country 3 consecutive years. So in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, she was named MVP for cross country. So this morning, I can't wait to hear what she has to speak to us about. I'm a little nervous about something, and you'll find out a little later why, but I'm really excited for her chapel. So Avery, come on up on stage.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, for the kind introduction. Good morning, students, parents, and faculty. As most of you may know, my name is Avery Regner, and today I'm delivering my chapel on Playing Bigger, and I'm so excited you are here today to hear me share my chapel with you. Everything about playing bigger has to start with a goal. Let's start by talking about you and the goals you've set. This looks like a room full of people who have big goals, and great news. Everyone who participates today is going to get a gift at the end of my chapel. Raise your hand if you ever set a goal to earn a certain grade on Mrs. Shellhorn's history test. Raise your hand if you ever set a goal to run a certain time in Mr. Hayden's mile run. Raise your hand if you ever set a goal to start on a sports team. No matter what goal you set for yourself, big or small, would you guys be okay if we talked about a few things to not only hit your goals, but to crush them? Number 1, practice active belief. I know you've probably heard this said a million times, but it is so important. Once you believe that you can, you are already halfway there. Have you ever heard of the law of attraction? Well, the law of attraction indicates what you think about and speak about, you bring about. It's like ordering off a menu. If you go to Chick-fil-A and order their tortilla soup, don't expect to get the chicken sandwich. When you think and speak negatively, those thoughts can become a reality. But when you choose to think and speak positively, that can become a reality as well. I've seen it many times. The world is ready to deliver on your most audacious goals when you order it up. Do you want to supercharge your results? Practice active belief by taking these 2 steps. Write your goal down as if it has already happened. Read it back to yourself and allow yourself to feel the emotion of gratitude that comes with having achieved that goal. Author Lynn Grabhorn says to hold that feeling for 17 seconds. That's where the magic is. So you want to score 100% on Mrs. Shellhorn's history test? Visualize the feeling of her putting the graded test into your hands and you sending a picture of it to your parents. Feel that feeling as you watch it unfold. Hold it. Speak it into being. Tell people what you plan to accomplish. The more your subconscious mind hears you sharing it, the more your subconscious is working to make sure it happens. You ordering off the menu. Let others know what is ahead for you. Declare it and own it as you watch it unfold. Number 2, challenge your limits. There's something called the law of the lid. We all have a ceiling in our mind of what we think we can do. Greatness lives on the other side of your lid. When I was about to start 6th grade, I was debating trying cross country because I wasn't sure if I would be capable enough of running 2 miles. I decided I was tired of playing small, and I ended up running that season. I'm so happy I chose to play bigger and try cross country because if it wasn't for cross country, I wouldn't have the opportunities I have today. I wouldn't have some of the friends I have, and I wouldn't have found my passion for running. Running has changed my entire mindset and lifestyle, and I truly would not be the same person I am today without it. Have you ever heard of the Roger Bannister story? Well, the Bannister story is when scientists said that it was physically impossible for a human to run a mile in 4 minutes, and that the human body would collapse, and they were certain about it. So nobody ever really tried. One day, in a track meet, one man named Roger Bannister ran a mile in 4 minutes, and then high school runners were doing it. When all odds were against him, he chose to go after what he wanted, even if scientists thought it would be physically impossible. The beauty of the law of the lid is that just like Roger Bannister, you have the ability to change it. It's only ever impossible until it's done. Would you guys mind if I illustrate this point with some volunteers? I would like to invite Mr. Hutchison, Mr. Rodriguez, and Mr. Urdio up to the stage. For the purpose of this exercise, we are going to say the longest you've ever held a plank was 45 seconds. And for today, in the front of all these people, you're going to hold the longest plank you've ever held. I'm giving you guys whiteboards, and you're going to write down this sentence. I'm so grateful I was able to hold a plank for 45 seconds. I want you guys to say it out loud and imagine the clock hitting 45 seconds. Mr. Hamilton, can we please have the timer set to 45 seconds? Let's begin.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Not like a mat or anything.
Nice job. Keep going. Two, one. Nice job.
Well, thank you.
Can we please get a round of applause for 3 really good sports and plank champions? Number 3, put in the work. Reps, 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 more reps. You have to fall in love with the process of becoming great. Malcolm Gladwell says it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at anything. When you lift weights, you complete a certain amount of reps. Reps are what it takes to create strength. It's the same with crushing your goals. It's the hard work you put in that will make you great. It's the work you dread that will help you. Putting in the extra study hour or the extra practice time can really help, even if you don't feel like it. It's the baby steps along the way that help you get to where you want to be. You can't just wake up one morning and be the best. Greatness takes time, practice, hard work, and dedication. It can sometimes mean missing out on a few hours of sleep just to get the work done. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get what you want. Number 4, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Playing small is easy, but beautiful things come from playing big. Let me share a story that illustrates some amazing benefits to being okay with things being a little uncomfortable. When I was in 3rd grade, my family had just made the decision to start fostering. Foster care is where children with parents who are unable to take care of them go to families who are willing to take them, either until their parents can become equipped again or the children need to be adopted. Some said it was absolutely outrageous of us to even consider this idea. We already had all the reasons in the world not to. We already had a busy house. Both my parents work. My mom sometimes has to travel for work, etc. The list of excuses goes on and on, but we decided to play bigger. We've been able to foster 9 children who I can't imagine my life without. It's crazy how some things you never see coming can change your entire world for the better. My siblings and I have been able to experience many things that most kids never get to experience, such as helping a little girl who's blind, and when you told her how beautiful she was, she gave you the biggest hug that none of us will ever quite get to experience again. Seeing the biggest smiles on little children's faces over the smallest things we often take for granted, such as when one child saw the trampoline in our backyard and said it was everything he ever dreamed of having, and getting new brothers and sisters whenever. Even though it gets a little chaotic and we often have enough kids to start a sports team, we've learned to make it work. It gets tiring. My mom probably can't count how many spills there have been in the new kitchen. Oh, and what about the time when we dropped a mug on the glass stovetop and the whole thing shattered? There have been many times where we've probably just wanted to give up, but we didn't. We knew there were people who needed us and depended on us. We chose not to listen to what others had to say about us, but what made us happy. Over the years, I've gotten to be a sister to 12 children, only 2 biological, who have each made a remarkable impact on me. Although, you may think my family sounds like a bit of a circus, and it often is, but we love it. One day, we received a phone call for a 3-month-old little girl. We thought it would be a little crazy to say yes, considering my mom was going away on a business trip the following week. My parents do it afraid. They say yes when it sounds ridiculous. They say yes when it would be much easier to just say no. But that yes that day was one of the greatest yeses of our entire lives. And 759 days after that yes, on the day before she turned 3 years old, that little baby became Trinity Maya Rigner, my officially legal sister. Yay! Trinity is brave, bold, kind, and even though she is just 3 years old, she's one of the most caring people I've ever met in my entire life. Whenever she sees someone upset, she gives them the biggest hug and reminds them of just how beautiful they are. She believes in herself almost like no one I've ever met. Every morning, she stands in front of the mirror and says, "Oh, look, Avery, it's a real-life princess. I look exactly like Cinderella." Trinity truly was the best addition to the Rigner family circus. When I see how many people who have been blessed by Trinity Maya Rigner, the one thing that is absolutely certain, we could have said no. Being willing to be uncomfortable got me a sister. Number 5, flick yourself. Here's what you'll probably find. The closer you get to your goal, the more opposition you will face. Mental warfare is going to attack you. And the negative voice sometimes gets the loudest when you're on the verge of massive breakthrough. Negative self-talk is going to strike. You might hear things like, "You're not good enough. That's too hard. That will never work. Other people can, but you can't." They are lies, however, they are powerful lies. And they can completely sabotage your progress. What if I told you I have a trick for you that will stop you from thinking and talking negatively about yourself? It is called pattern interrupt. And trust me, it works. If you look under your chair, you will see a rubber band. This is the gift that I had promised you. It might not seem like much, but this exercise can change your entire life. Now put it on your wrist. Every time a negative thought comes to your mind, lightly flick it. This exercise will over time train your mind to stop thinking and talking negatively about yourself. When thinking about playing bigger, I often think of the movie Overcomer. Overcomer is about a basketball coach who got fired because his team didn't win the championship. He is then asked to become the cross-country coach. When tryouts come, only one runner shows up. The coach was confused why the principal even thought it would be remotely possible to have a cross-country team with only one runner. As much as the coach wanted to give up coaching sometimes, he never did. In fact, he never stopped believing in her, and even led her to meeting her father. Her father used to be a successful cross-country runner himself, and her coach and his 2 sons figured out a way for him to be able to coach her during the big race using an earpiece.
Town's oldest manufacturing plant is closing its doors.
Most of my players have parents that work at the plant. This ain't gonna be pretty.
I'm down 3 coaches, but I do think I have a solution for cross country.
No, I don't even like running.
Don't die. Don't die.
Cross country's not even a real sport.
Why would anyone want to do this?
I'm just impressed that you finished.
You are my best option.
Y'all here for tryouts?
No, sir. We're just hanging out.
Hey, are you here for cross country?
Yes, sir.
I had one girl show up and she's got asthma.
Oh, you mean Hannah Scott. Do you enjoy running?
It's really the only thing I'm good at.
Why have a season with one runner?
One runner matters.
Thomas, you got time for a visit?
Hello, Coach. So you changed sports, and you still got no team. Well, that's sad even for me.
I get it. You have to coach cross country, but it's not the end of the world.
For someone who knows the Lord, you act like somebody who doesn't.
You give some very inspirational speeches to your players about stepping up under pressure and going the extra mile.
Anna, getting faster.
is worth so much more than this.
To who?
When you find your identity in the one who created you, it'll change your whole perspective. Something or someone will have first place in your heart.
Where's your team? She's right there.
What have you allowed to define you?
Is that?
That's Hannah.
Once you reach your goals, it's important to thank the people who have helped you get to where you are today. Although my list is pretty long, there's one person who I really want to recognize, Coach Tools. I would like to thank you for everything. You believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself, and I truly would not be the athlete, leader, or the person I am today without your help. This year in the Belmont, it was my last year running, and I had set a goal for myself in the beginning of the season to place in the top 10 females for the 3rd year in a row. I wrote it down, I told my parents and everyone who asked me about running, I visualized what it would feel like to have my name announced as a top finisher. I knew there would be amazing competition. There were girls coming to race who'd finish in front of me, but I was determined to reach my goal. After I started running at the Belmont that day, I felt really sick. I didn't know if I'd be able to finish the race, let alone place. It was one of the worst feelings. In the second lap, I ignored the ill feeling and blocked out all the noise. I went as fast as I could, and all I could hear was Coach Tools, Miss Sturdy, and my parents cheering me on. Although I felt like I was going to die, I placed 8th girl, and without the of Coach, it wouldn't have been possible. Let me leave you with this, 212 degrees. At 211 degrees, water is very hot. At 212, water starts to boil. That boiling water can create steam that can propel a speeding train. It's only 1 degree difference, just a little bit more. What in your life could radically change if you turned the dial of goals, vision, practice, and effort just up 1 more degree? I hope today and every day you remember to pushing yourself up 1 more degree can make all the difference. Have a great day. Thank you.